Wonderful to be here. I'm going to do the revolutionary act of offering you 3 poems. The first one is for you, dear readers. It features the poet as a mosquito. Forgive me the mosquito symbolism, but I've spent most of my life in this city, so I have a very intimate relationship with the mosquito. And as it happened, I was awoken one morning by a mosquito buzzing in my ear, and I had this sense of recognition that that's what my job is as a poet, to go and find as many ears as I can, to make a lot of noise and buzz around in them, and to awaken you in some way, but hopefully not to pass on any life-threatening diseases. So this poem is for you. It's called Contract. Dear reader, I agree to turn my skin inside out, to reinvent every lost word, to burnish, to steal, to do what I must in order to singe your lungs. I will forego happiness, stab myself repeatedly, and lower my head into countless ovens. I will fade backwards into the future and tell you what I see. If it is bleak, I will lie so that you may live seized with wonder. If it is miraculous, I will send messages in your dreams, and they will flicker as a silvered cottage in the woods choked with vines of moonflower. Don't kill me, reader. This neck has been working for years to harden itself against the axe. This body, meager as it is, has lost so many limbs to wars, so many eyes and hearts to romance. But love me, and I will follow you everywhere, to the dusty corners of childhood, to every downfall and resurrection, till your skin becomes my skin. Let us be twins, our blood thumping after each other like thunder and lightning. And when you put your soft head down to rest, dear reader, I promise to always be there, humming in the dungeons of your auditory canals, an immortal mosquito hastening you towards fury, towards incandescence. Thank you. So it's difficult to be a poet. I don't know how many of you read poetry or are lovers of poetry. Some years ago, I was at a gathering very much like this, brilliant people in Athens. And I had a moment of crisis, wondering, why was I asked to be there? What is the job of the poet? What can I possibly have to offer? And it took me a few days to reassure myself of the place of poetry in the world, because after all, I was in Athens, and we are still reading Homer and Sappho and Sophocles these many thousand years later. So I thought I would read you the next poem, which is for my fellow poets, and it's called Find the Poets. I arrived in a foreign land yesterday, a land that has seen troubles. Who hasn't, you might say, but this land with its scrubbed white houses and blue seas, where everything was born and now it seems everything could vanish. I wanted to find out the truth about how a great land like this could allow ancient columns to crumble and organ grinders to disappear. Find the poets, my friend said. If you want to know the truth, find the poets. But friend, where do I find the poets? In the soccer fields, at the seashore, in the bars, drinking? Where do the poets live these days, and what do they sing about? I looked for them in the streets of Athens, at the train station, and by the flea market. I thought one of them might have sold me a pair of sandals, but he did not speak to me of poetry, only of his troubles, of how his house was taken from him, of all the dangers his children must now be brave enough to face. Find the poets, my friend said. They will not speak of the things you and I speak about. They will not speak of economic integration or fiscal consolidation. They could not tell you anything about the burden of adjustment. But they could sit you down and tell you how poems are born in silence and sometimes in moments of great noise, of how they arrive like the rain unexpectedly cracking open the sky. They will talk of love, of course, as if it were the only thing that mattered, of chestnut trees and mountain tops and how much they miss their dead fathers. They will talk like they have been talking for centuries about holding the throat of life till all the sunsets and lies are choked out, till only the bones of truth remain. The poets, my friend, are where they have always been, living in paper houses along rivers and forests that are disappearing. And while you and I go on with life, remembering and forgetting, the poets remain singing, singing. Thank you. I'm going to end with a short dance piece. I worked as a student with Chandralekha for many years, and this poem is the title poem of my new collection, Girls Are Coming Out of the Woods, and it's for the girls. Girls are coming out of the woods, wrapped in cloaks and hoods, carrying iron bars and candles and a multitude of scars collected on acres of premature grass and city buses, in temples and bars. Girls are coming out of the woods with panties tied around their lips, making such a noise it's impossible to hear. Is the world speaking too? Is it really asking, what does it mean to give someone a proper resting? Girls are coming out of the woods, lifting their broken legs high, leaking secrets from unfastened thighs. All the lies whispered by strangers and swimming coaches and uncles, especially uncles who said spreading would be light and easy, who put bullets in their chests and fed their pretty faces to fire, who sucked the mud clean off their ribs and decorated their coffins with briar.
Girls are coming out of the woods, clearing the ground to scatter their stories. Even those girls found naked in ditches and wells, those forgotten in neglected attics, and buried in riverbeds like sediments from a different century. They've crawled their way out from behind curtains of childhood, the silver pink weight of their bodies pushing against water, against the sad, feathered tarnish of remembrance. Girls are coming out of the woods, the way birds arrive at morning windows, pecking and humming, until all you can hear is the smash of their minuscule hearts against glass, the bright desperation of sound, bashing, disappearing. Girls are coming out of the woods. They're coming, they're coming.